you look your hair.
Hello everyone, welcome to our Harbin winter trip. This was one of the coldest and most exciting trips my family has ever done. We started in Sydney, Australia, then stopped in Shanghai for one night before flying to Harbin the next morning. So this is day 2 of our China trip, and today we are finally arriving in the famous ice city, Harbin. Our flight landed about 10 o'clock in the morning, but it already felt like we had arrived in a different world. Inside Harbin Airport, there were many changing rooms for travelers who needed to put their real winter clothes. I feel like in Antarctica, guys. That was our first warning that the cold outside was going to be serious, not just normal winter weather. We changed into our thick jackets, snow pants, warm boots, hats, scarves, and every layer we could find. Then we walked outside. The temperature was about minus 20 degrees Celsius. That was colder than any place I had ever felt before. Without gloves, I could only stay outside for about 2 minutes before my fingers started to hurt from the cold. Our plan was to stay in Harbin City for one night and travel south to China's Snowtown the next day. Snowtown was about 300 kilometers away, so we knew we needed to be ready before we left the city. First, we need more winter gear, especially better hats, gloves, and things ready to protect our faces from the wind. Before shopping, we visited St. Sophia Cathedral. It looked very different from other buildings I had seen in China.
Welcome to
Harbin.
Harbin.
Let's go. The big green dome, red bricks, and snowy ground made it look a little bit like a European winter movie. Around the cathedral, there were many small shops, street snacks, warm drinks, and people walking quickly through the cold. My mom was very happy because Harbin has lots of Northeastern Chinese food, and many dishes were her favorite foods. One highlight was deep-fried pork. The queue was so long, with about 20 people waiting before us. We waited because the food smelled amazing, and when we finally got it, it was sweet, crispy, and warm.
这个辣椒来。
这2个羊肉不要辣椒，小孩吃。
好的嘞，来稍等一下尝。
啊。
来，大车大车。
Owen, don't eat, Owen.
大车搞。
You don't eat,
Don't eat，你等等一。
Hello guys, I'm eating this grape skewer covered with tanghulu. Overall, I found something strange. Do you know this is actually edible? Hey, it's in my mouth.
Oh, what it made from? I think.
Do you know why I like this character?
Yeah, because it's tricky.
It's cute. After food, we went to buy more winter things. There were so many jackets, hats, gloves, socks, and snow boots. The prices was much cheaper than I expected, from about $5 Australian for small items up to around $100.
Very thick.
Look at the character.
We have Mickey Mouse character.
Mama, look. I like this character. I noticed that many buildings had big, heavy curtains at the entrance to stop the cold wind from running inside. We had dinner. We went back to our hotel, packed our bags, and got ready for the next big day in the snow.
有路呗？喂，喂，喂，你講嗌啫喎！
So now, what's the temperature outside?
It's about -10, I think.
16 啊
16.
Good morning from Harbin. Today, we were leaving the city and traveling towards a snow area near Yabuli. We took a didi. Before we reached the station, our driver told us that a small shop with good local breakfast. He said it was popular with local people, so of course we wanted to try that before the train ride. The breakfast was simple but really nice. Warm food tastes even better when the weather outside is freezing. Then we arrived at Harbin speed train station.
We are currently in Harbin railway station. This station has a high-speed train that takes us all the way from the city all the way to Snow Village.
It was modern, huge, and very busy with travelers. One thing I noticed straight away was that many massage chairs. People could sit down and relax while they waited. I could see lots of people carrying big jackets and snow gear, so they probably had the same destination as us. Our train was going to Yabuli West Station, which is a common stop for people heading to ski and snow areas. High-speed trains in China are very smooth. I liked looking through the window at the white snowy landscapes passing by.
Go there.
After the train, we continued by road. The trees, fields, and small villages all looked covered with white powder. Our drivers showed us something cool on the road. There were special grooves beside the road that could make a tune. When the car wheels drove over these grooves at the right speed, the road made a little musical sound. Seen a singing road before. It was a small surprise, but it made the long drive more fun.
这个地方就是小，它也是叫大图人和滨雪画廊，但是它小，仿制人家景点，它是旅游团来的多，大巴来的多。
Later, we reached a mountain area near Datudingzi Mountain, one of the cold places on our trip.
为了您的安全，禁止横穿马路及走过接通道。此处游客指路，为了您的安全，禁止横穿马路及走过接通道。此处游客指路，为了您的安全，禁止横穿马路。
there you go. When drive very fast เลยวะ
I was about to fall off.
Shit
Very fast.
I nearly fall down อ่ะ shit เลย
Me too.
I had to hold him very hard
刚刚好吃，然后串出来吃了。
I could not imagine how much colder it might be at night, when there was no sun at all. We walked through a smaller covered tunnel for around 15 minutes and helped block some wind while we walked uphill. Even inside a tunnel, I could feel the cold air. I learned that good clothes are very important in Harbin.
Take a photo of
Take with him ได้ปะ Can I take with him วะ
这个2个人。啊，额外的。
At the top area, there were white foxes that visitors could hold for photos.
您下山可以在雪圈下山，能查到您是在雪坡区的位置。
The foxes were very beautiful, but they were living animals, not toys. We tried to be gentle and respectful around them.
欢迎到你的好，欢迎来到中国雪乡第一高山雪圈航道。查看检查指导公司，您下山可以在雪圈下山，能查到您是在雪坡区的位置。
Take a photo.
Why did I?
Take a photo. This is
The tree 啊
the train. I have the background.
There was also a warm food court nearby, and it felt amazing to step indoors after being outside in minus 27 degrees. Our guide planned the timing for us, which was helpful because staying outside too long this weather could be hard. Then we tried snow activities, including sitting in a big snow tube that was pulled or sent down the snow. It looked fun, but when the tube moved fast, the cold wind made my whole face freeze again.
cut off.
Cut.
You can put the things in there. Look at someone take photo like that.
When you look there, how soft of the snow look there, how soft.
There was many snow games and photo spots in the area. Everywhere we looked, the ground, trees, and the hills were white. One popular photo activity was throwing hot water in the freezing air. It made a big cloud of steam and tiny ice crystals.
1、2、3坡，可以了，下一个，下一个，下一个。去，走吧，6点。往尾，往左邊，係
My hands were frozen now.
When you look mama now, when you look mama now, how mama, how is mama now look there? Look, you look your hair, you look your hair, you look your eye. Head. You become old people lah.
Snowman, snow woman.
Here we are. We have arrived at China's Snow Town, also called Zhongguo Shuqiang in Chinese. This village is in the snowy forest area of Heilongjiang near Mudanjiang city, and it is famous for its deep winter snow. Our guide told us that this place was once a foresty settlement before it came as famous winter travel destination. Because of the mountains and cold weather, the snow could build up very thickly on the roofs and fences here. That is why the houses look like they have giant marshmallows or mushroom-shaped snow hats on top of them. Many local homes became guest houses, small restaurants, snack shops, and places for visitors to stay overnight. People call it Snow Town because it really feels like a small town built inside a giant snow picture book.
Come here there. Where are we now?
In China's Snow Town.
China snow town.
What? How to call in Chinese?
雪乡.
Most visitors plan to stay overnight here. A room can cost around 200 to 300 Australian dollars in peak season. We were not staying overnight this time. We had about 4 hours to explore until 6:30 in the evening. There were 2 groups everywhere. You could see guides holding little flags so their group would not get lost. Some visitors had big cameras, but even a phone photo looked beautiful because the lights and snow did most of the work. As the afternoon became darker, the cold felt stronger. We kept moving because standing still made us freeze faster. I learned that when the temperature was very low, it helps us to keep walking, move your fingers, and take warm breaks. We did not have time to try everything, so we chose the things that looked the most fun for our family. I saw people hiring small snow carts. They look interesting, like tiny cars carefully driving across the snow. There were also photographers offering pictures in colorful winter clothes, with the lights and snow as the background. The colorful lights made the snow look purple and blue in some places, even though it was really white. At night, the snow roofs looked softer and rounder. It honestly felt like walking through a fairy tale village. We also looked for a place to go inside, but we did not want to eat at a random restaurant. We already had dinner booked later, so we needed somewhere warm we could wait and rest a little. Finally, we found the coffee shop. It was small, but it felt like the warmest place in the whole village.
Go.
Then it was time to leave the village. It was already 6:30 and our next stop was dinner. For dinner, we had Northeast Chinese dishes like stir-fried tofu, sweet and sour pork, and a sweet potato dish with sugar. The sugar potato dish was delicious when it was hot. The sugar scratched in long strings like candy. But we had to eat it fast. After a few minutes, the sugar started to cool and become hard. Look how thick is the window.
Oh, when look smoke like you open the fridge. Hey, horse ah. Hey.
There's a horse. Good morning. This was our third full day in Yabuli, and when we opened the window, it looked like we had opened a fridge. Even the trees looked like they were wearing winter clothes. Today, we were going on a snow mountain area. We rented snow clothes and snowboards before starting our morning activity. Snowboarding looked easy when other people did it, But it was much harder when I tried to balance on the snow. The first challenge was standing up. The second challenge was not falling down again straight away. But falling on the soft snow was not too bad. I just had to laugh, get up, and try again. We played in the snow until lunchtime, then stopped to have more local food and warm ourselves up. After lunch, we went to another snow playing area. It was like a small museum mixed with an outdoor winter playground. There were displays showing how people in this area lived in the past, before modern buildings and big tourist groups. We saw small foxes again. They were very cute, but I also thought about how important animal care is. Cute animals should always be treated gently, and people should follow rules instead of bothering them for photos. We spent time doing snow slides, walking around, and trying different snow activities in the area. We took a small break between activities because wet gloves or cold toes can make snow play much less fun. I like that every activity had a warm indoor place nearby where families could rest, drink something, and warm up. My dad went on a snowmobile tour. He said it was fast, cold, and a lot of fun. We stayed there for a few hours, and by the end, I could feel that the cold weather was made my body tired. Keeping warm in the very cold air uses a lot of energy, even when you are not doing a big sport. Before finishing our snow town trip, we stopped at Yabuli Forest Hot Spring for a long, warm rest. We spent about 2.5 hours there. The difference between outside and inside was unbelievable. Outside, the air was freezing. Inside, it was warm, quiet, and relaxing, like entering another world. There was an indoor pools, places to rest, and even an indoor beach-style area. I felt so comfortable. We also tried an outdoor hot spring. Getting out of the changing area was freezing, but getting to the hot water was amazing.
Okay, this is video.
Today, we came to Harbin Central Street, also called Songhua in Chinese. This street was one of the best known walking streets in Harbin, with lots of shops, food, and old European-style buildings. Central Street began being built in the late 1800s, when Harbin grew because of railway and trade connections. That is why the street feels different from many other places in China. You can see Russian and European influence in the buildings. The street is made for walking, so people can take photos, shop, eat, and enjoy the winter city atmosphere. We walked around quickly because it was still very cold, and we had a big afternoon plan ahead.
也就会了，也就唱出来了。
喂。
For lunch, we went to a popular Russian-style restaurant. Harbin has a strong Russian food influence in some places. It was my first time trying some fish pie. I wanted to like it, but honestly, I did not like the taste very much. Trying new food does not mean you have to love every single thing.
So what happened with that?
Renovation. Go.
Here.
After lunch, we caught the metro from the city to the ice festival area. The trip took around 30 minutes. Our big plan was to visit the Harbin Snow, Ice and Snow World, one of the most famous winter places in the city. The Harbin Ice and Snow Festival grew from local ice lantern traditions and became an annual festival in 1985. Every winter, builders and artists create a large temporary world using ice, snow, lights, machines, and many hours of work.
我今天晚上早上来，我还是5月尾，能不能给我想了点？明天早上忘了。小姨，我说小姨的口音，回家就想起来。然后小
A lot of ice was used for the displays. Comes from the frozen Songhua River, which runs through Harbin. Workers cut big blocks of ice, moved them carefully, stacked them, and shaped them into buildings, towers, slides, and sculptures. When I saw the ice blocks close up, they were not tiny decorations. Some were as big as real building blocks. The festival is not only one small park. Different places around Harbin show ice art, snow art, lanterns, and winter activities.
Oh, it's still plenty.
这边人多，咱可以往这边来，慢点吧。前面不能走，这地排不能，地排不能。你看看。
Ice and Snow World is famous for a huge ice party with colorful lights that look best after the sky gets dark. The Ice Festival is rebuilt each winter. That means every year can look different with new ideas and new themes. I think that it's amazing because the artists made something beautiful, knowing that it will melt when the weather gets warm. When we entered, I felt very small. The ice buildings were huge and they looked like glowing castles.
What is in English?
冰雪อะไรนะครับ冰
How do you translate to English?
Okay, don't worry about
And there's even a temperature checker.
how cold is it now?
Roughly about minus 15 degrees.
Faster, what?
Okay, good. Ôi cố vào.
爬上也行，水地楼，抬起来也行啊。
I went behind in my bumper.
I kept wondering how the builders could make straight walls and tall towers from blocks of ice in such cold weather. The answer was teamwork. There were artists, builders, machine drivers, electricians, planners, and so many other workers. The colorful lights are very important. At daytime, the ice looks beautiful, but at nighttime, it felt magical. The Ferris wheel was also very popular and had limited tickets. It showed how busy the festival can be. One popular activity was the long ice slide. It looked exciting and many people wanted to try it. But we could not get a ticket for the long slide because tickets were limited and needed booking early. Even though we missed the longest slide, this was still one of the most amazing nights of the whole trip. The next morning, we would meet another famous animal that lives in a cold place, the Siberian tiger. I was excited, but I also knew we needed to stay safe and respect the animals from a proper distance.
Where are we today?
We are feed tigers out of this small tube.
Oh, what is it?
Oh, sorry. 等会儿慢点，正在吃，稍等。
Oh, so cute! Wow! Wow!
这壶，这有个孩子呀。这要占地面。
对，夹肉生的。
So strong, this is what happened. We over. So I released it before I ate it. Come on, go on. What are you waiting for?
还有越野。
Now, South turn. Let's start poking out of the cage. Come on. Let's go.
飞now,飞now.
Oh, it's really big.
这边还有肉啊？
哎，这只好看哎。
没完呢，还没喂完啊，还有2块这边。那待会儿我带你走。
Simba, Simba. It's Simba.
In the afternoon, we visited International Snow Sculptures Art Expo, where giant sculptures are made from packed snow. This place was different from the ice festival. Here, sculptures look soft and white, like huge mountains shaped like artists. Some snow sculptures were so large that I had to look up to see the top of them.
Turn this side. Make no light.
Eat first.
I could see how much work it must take to turn a giant block of snow into something with faces, windows,
This
and
one,
tiny details.
second prize from Russia.
The sculptures were massive, but they were still made of snow. There were snow buildings, animals, cartoon characters, and shapes from different places. We spent about 2 hours walking around and looking at different artworks. There were photo spots everywhere. Since we missed the very long ice slide at Ice and Snow World, we tried a medium-sized ice slide in this park. It was not as huge as the other one, but it was still fun. The park was near a panda center, so we also had a chance to see a panda while we were in the area. Seeing a panda in China felt special because pandas are one of the animals people most connect with China. When we were leaving, we crossed a bridge and saw many little dome-shaped tents set up in the frozen river. At first, I wondered what they were. Then we found out people were doing ice fishing under the river ice. It looked so interesting that we decided to try it. It was a chance to do something I had never done before. We paid about almost 20 Australian dollars per person for around 90 minutes of ice fishing. The workers started by drilling a hole through the thick ice. It was amazing to think there was flowing water under our feet. They showed us how to put bait on the hook and how to hold the small fishing rod carefully. They gave us about 30 pieces, which was more than enough for our turn. Then we lowered the line through the hole and we waited. I expected that it would take a long time to catch anything, but unbelievably, it only took about 3 or 4 minutes before we caught a fish. There seemed to be many fish under the ice. Every time we tried again, we were watching the line very carefully. The fish came out of a tiny round hole, which made it look like they appeared from a secret underwater world. The staff helped show us how to remove the hook safely. We were careful because fish and hooks can both move suddenly.
That was very quick.
Ice fishing was exciting because it was quiet at first. Then suddenly, everyone became busy when the fish bit the bait. The best part about ice fishing was the surprise. You never knew exactly when the small line would suddenly move.
Good job.
It's the A380 vacuum. Good luck. And then couple of them.
After being outside for so long, we were ready for dinner again. Warm food became the best prize after cold activity. We went to Lao Wei Barbecue, a very popular barbecue restaurant in Harbin. Many local people know this place well. The restaurant was busy, warm, and full of delicious smells from grilled meat and side dishes. We ordered lots of food to share. After snow, ice, fishing, and walking, everyone was very hungry. The barbecue was smoky, warm, and tasty. Another morning in Harbin, we went to the music hall area, which is a popular place to take photos with a giant snowman. People say that if you visit Harbin in winter, you should take at least one photo with a big snowman. We spent about 10 to 20 minutes taking photos, laughing, fixing our hats, and trying to not freeze our smiles. We caught a Diddy car to the snow carnival. It was exciting to know we were going to play on the top of a frozen river. There were so many things to do there: snow rides, ice activities, photos, small vehicles, and family games. One fun activity was riding a Can-Am off-road vehicle. It was like a small adventure car driving on snow and ice. It cost about 50 Australian dollars for 2 rounds. It was expensive, but it looked very exciting.
全程手头脚不要伸出车外，不要超车，不要停车，不要冲撞雪墙。由操作不当导致的车辆碰撞、翻车造成的所有损失由驾驶员承担。全程按键档位不需要动，清楚点头。
OK。好吧。
站前先跺跺脚，把寒气留在门外哦。
Here, hot. Do you want hot water?
This one is advertising for what's called And be careful, slippery again. Everything you walk, please have a look.
We also went near the Harbin Flood Control Memorial Tower. It is beside the river and is a famous Harbin landmark. I had visited this area about 8 years ago when I was little, so it felt strange and nice to come back again. The river looked completely different in winter. Instead of flowing water,
long time ago, this road is a fish market. It's a market. Yeah. Yeah. bought we bought there before นี่หว่า bought again นี่หว่า
I tap.
ฮอตพอตวะ Where's hot pot เอาเว้น We could eat hot pot like this เหรอเว้น keep right นะครับ keep right
It's a white
ครับตัววายอ่ะ
哎呀，妈，里边有油，好多人。
跪晒跪晒，
那个都可以做。
呢個，先啦。
For our last big meal in Harbin, we tried the Northeastern Chinese hot pot with a lot of lamb and warm broth. This style is often called a traditional copper pot or tanghulu. The metal pot is heated with charcoal underneath. The broth was rich and warm with lamb, vegetables, pickled cabbage, and other ingredients we cooked at the table.
Look at this. Trick. I normally stick it here so we can make it.
At the end of our Harbin trip, we went to a spa center and planned to stay there from afternoon until late night. This spa center was open for 24 hours, so people could take a hot bath, relax, eat fruit, sleep, and stay warm. First, we changed clothes, prepared towels, had a shower, and then went to the hot spring and bath areas. After that, we could relax in the big resting areas with places to lie down. It felt very peaceful after so many busy days. There were fruit snacks, private sleeping spaces, and a kids area where children could play too. We stayed for about 7 hours. It was a comfortable way to rest before a late flight to the airport. The spa felt like a small hotel mixed with a bathhouse, and it really helped us recharge before traveling again. After all the snow, ice, wind, trains, food, animals, fishing, rides, and hot springs, we finally packed up for the airport. Harbin was much colder than expected, but it was also more fun and beautiful than I expected. I am very thankful that I could travel with my family, try new food, see new places, and learn new things together. Thank you for watching this long winter adventure. I hope it makes you want to visit Harbin one day too.